Hey guys, welcome to another vlog video. I hope everyone had a great week. And today's topic, I try my best to theme, although a lot of the time I will just title it as weekly vlog because I kind of just tell you what happened throughout the week. So this is a weekly vlog, but everything kind of fits the same theme. So the theme is work. So I'm going to tell you some updates and some stuff. So before I start, because this video might make it sound like I'm not happy at my job, I think it's great. The new job is great. I've been at it for a few months now, and it's great. I like the people. It just don't pay me what I'm used to. That's really what it is. It don't pay me what I'm used to. And if I had my way, I'd have an extra 10 hours every week. So yeah, it is part-time technically, but my boss is really good at giving me the max she can. So I am working like 32-hour weeks. Yeah, because that is the max they can give me. But there was a couple of weeks where it was so busy that I actually ended up getting overtime because of the part-time hours and how all that shit kind of works, right? So not unhappy with the job, but as many of you guys know, it's hard to live off of, technically part-time employment. I have turned it into full-time because I do have the business as well. So it does equal full-time hours when I'm doing the business with the part-time job, right? So things have been going really good. I just finished paying off my credit card. I have two, and I had the other one paid off a bit ago. And the other one is paid off, which I'm really grateful for. I hate credit cards. I have them for credit writing, but my main one, which is my TD credit card, stands for Toronto Dominion. If you're from the States, it's a Canadian bank. I've been with them my whole life. My dad set up a bank account for me when I was 5. It wasn't called TD back then. I think it was Canada Trust, and then I think TD kind of came in. I can't totally remember. But point is, I've had an account with them for a long time. And they had offered me a credit card years ago, and it was when I was starting the business. And when I had brought the business back, which was recently, a year ago, I had kind of, maxed it out to get the business up and running because I was struggling to find work at that time, which is why I brought the business back. And yeah, I was just kind of making like small payments here and there, just keeping it afloat where they don't harass me and they're kind of like happy enough with it. But I was paying huge fees because I wasn't paying it off, right? So finally paid off that credit card. We are, I guess debt-free. I don't know. I've never really been in debt. I don't consider, like, it wasn't a heavy amount, right? It wasn't like, it was less than 5,000. Okay. So it wasn't even that much. It's just when you're not working and you have, well, I've been working, but when you're not making a whole lot, and you're paying bills and stuff. I have 2 phones that I pay for right now. Thankfully, one is paid off, so I'm just paying the monthly bill. But the business phone that I got a year ago when I brought the business back, that sucker is a little over $100 a month just to pay the monthly bill and the phone. So I got another year on that. And then I will be back to not paying phone amounts for a while. I am that girl. My roommates mentioned it to me as well, roommate / best friend, that I buy a phone every 10 years. And that's exactly it. I wait till a phone breaks down. In this case, I just didn't want my personal phone to be connected to the business. So I got a new number and I figured, well, what the fuck, might as well just get a new phone. So I know it might seem like a lot of ramble right now, but it's all going to make sense. I'm just kind of telling you everything that's going on. So back to the, I like the people, but I don't like the hours. So, well, the hours are fine too. It gives me time to do content, I guess. And it is pretty damn close to full-time hours. So, it feels like I'm working full-time, but it's just, I'm lacking all the great benefits you get from full-time, like benefits, Yeah. And that's what I care the most out of a job is, like I get that everyone thinks Canada's free over here. It's really not. It depends on what you need done. And you can die waiting in the waiting room. The reality, and I guess a lot of people don't think about it this way, but when things are cheap or free, the establishment is busy, right? Everyone will be there, right? So yeah, your wait times can be, not great. I've lucked out. I've had no health issues my entire time. I have felt like, I don't know if this will make sense, but I almost feel like maybe I should have just lived in the States for a bit. As a Canadian, I'm not taking advantage of any of the fucking free shit we get over here. Free. It's not really free because people pay out of their tax dollars. So someone is paying for your medical if you are getting it for free. But yeah. So with that said, the first thing I guess I'll mention is the job's been going great, and my boss has actually already been talking about a promotion, and it's for department manager, and honestly, I've been a manager longer than I've been a regular employee at businesses. I myself have had 3 businesses, and then working at places, I've had, assistant manager type roles and stuff like that. So it's, it kind of makes sense. But because I'm a little worried that the pay still won't be what I want, and it's it could end up being salary, and I don't like salary. I like hourly. Salary is when people start taking advantage of you. So because of that, I'm not sure if I really want it. It's like a part of me wants it, but then a part of me does not want all that extra responsibility if I'm only going to make a couple of dollars extra per hour or whatever. So it really depends. I'll have to see what the details are. And, realistically, department managers do get full-time hours, they get benefits. So it's all the stuff I want, but the pay just might not be there. And because of that, I prepared myself. So the main topic of today's video is that I hired a resume writer. So I hired them. I think it was Monday night. I was closing, and I was thinking about it at work, and I'm like, you know what? I got myself this job by me. I've always done my own resumes, right? So all the jobs I've gotten in my entire life, and I'm almost 50, I've gotten myself. So I'm not that bad at writing a resume. But the reality is I could afford it, and I wanted something more professional. Oh, you probably can't hear it, but it's the ice cream truck rolling down the street, of course. Yeah. There is always like, you know, all day, all silent. It'll probably be all silent after I end this video, but the minute you start recording a video, that's when all the sounds come. Like you'll have the fucking fire trucks going down the road. You'll have the ice cream trucks going down the road. The kids outside will start screaming. Like everything just like, yeah, that's why I like that we have little background sound, noise reduction, basically. So it only sucks when Mystic's in the room, because then you can't hear her meowing unless she's like right at the mic because of the noise reduction. But anyway, hired myself a resume writer. I wanted a cover letter as well. And this doesn't mean I'm like quitting my job and, gonna go look for, gonna do a new job. I just wanted to be prepared, and nothing's really going to change, right? This current job of mine will stay the current job for a while, and all the info will be accurate. The only real thing I would have to kind of alter would be the date on the cover letter. But other than that, yeah. So paid this girl $50. She did up a resume. And honestly, she had a lot to go off of. It's not like I said, hey, do me up a resume. I have nothing for you. Here's some info. Like I handed her my old resume. So she had a lot to work with. And my old resume was very ATS focused. I've done a video on this channel of how to get past that. So it was a resume that was pretty good, and passes the ATS system for resumes. But I just, I wanted someone who maybe could add a little extra to it that maybe I'm not thinking about. And the big thing was a cover letter. I've never done a cover letter before. Some companies ask for it, some don't. But more importantly, the high paying companies ask for it. So if you want, if you just want like, I don't know, a job that's, I don't know, between minimum wage to like 25 an hour, a regular resume is gonna, do you just fine. But if you want to be making more than that, cover letter is usually required. And yeah, so I got that, and she did a really good job. I actually gave her a tip, which was super expensive, because I hired her through Fiverr, and let's just say I gave her a $10 tip, and I knew this going in that I was going to be charged this much, but I'm like, whatever, she did a really good job. I'll give her a tip. But the $10 tip cost me $19. Fiverr took $9 out of a $10 tip, which I thought was insane. And that is why these people really need to go local, or private, I guess is more the word. But unfortunately, there's a reason people go on Fiverr to sell their skills. There's a reason people go on eBay to sell their items. It's because they're well-known establishments that people are going to go to, right? If you want to sell your shit, those are the places you go to, rather than make your own website. And, advertising is not only pricey, but it can be challenging. So I get it, but crazy. That is a huge fucking fee that they take from a person's tip. Yeah. So if I work with her again, I'm going to tip her on the side. I'm going to be like, hey, give me your PayPal info. I'll send you a tip. Yeah. Cause that's, I think I'll do that with anyone that I hire from there. I don't really have a need to really hire people off Fiverr for anything, like video editing. Hell no. There's no way I would. They're so expensive over there. Plus Fiverr takes, percentages. Like no way. No way. Yeah. But yeah. But video editor is still in the list of things. But I'm still editing my own videos at the moment. Yeah. So yeah. So that is that. As far as what I've got planned, it's not like I'll just tell you, I haven't even started looking for another job. I've had the resume and the cover letter done up for a few days. It wasn't like some emergency thing. I just wanted, I could afford it this month, and I figured, what the hell? It's a good investment. I'll keep my eye out on like job postings, and if one pops up I like, I'll use this resume and cover letter if they, ask for it. And yeah, so it's not like I'm off job hunting or anything. It's just I wanted to be prepared if there was something that showed up that really interested me. And yeah, so that is that. Next thing is, the next thing is, okay, I was shopping on Amazon. It's been a great shopping week. By great, I mean expensive, but I haven't done all my shopping this week. I'm putting some to next week. Some of you probably know what that sum is, but I'll tell you, it's the Steam sale. But I didn't buy any games off the Steam sale this week because I spent my money elsewhere. So at first I was like, you know what? I haven't bought a new ring in a while. I'm going to buy a ring. I'm wearing it right now. So it's that. If you look really closely, it's got stars and if you know me, I'm a druid. I have for 21 years in WoW. So this ring just called out to me. I was like, fuck, I must have that. And it's a mood ring. Now, it seems to go green a lot, and I think I'll grab the mood chart, but I think green is like calm. And I can't imagine I'm calm this much, for it to always be green. I really thought it would just go black. I think black is like, not to say I'm angry. I'm not an angry person unless you provoke me. But yeah, I've been a little stressed lately, so I kind of thought it would steer more towards that color. It is naturally black, so like it is a black ring that changes colors. But yeah, I really like it. And while I was there, and some of you guys might remember me talking about this because this is something I have talked about for probably 10 years, ever since I started doing content on the gaming channel. I always wanted, because the whole time you guys have known me, I've had the cleaning business. I dropped it for a bit in COVID, and then I brought it back when I was struggling to find a new job. And I love the cleaning business, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, it is very physical. I'm getting older, and yeah. And one thing I'd always told my gaming community was that one day, because I already have the Myst of Darkness website, it's not always like if you go to it, sometimes it'll be like, blank. I don't always pay for hosting. Some months I'll be like, no one's really visiting the website. I'm going to drop hosting for a few months. And then it kills the website more or less. It ends up being, in maintenance. And which is fine. I'm okay with that. But the plan was always to start selling merch over there. I always wanted to do my own merch rather than, a lot of content creators go to these shirt places and, make shirts and mugs and all that. And I have in the past, but I never liked doing it that way. They take their cut. I end up with almost nothing at the end of the day. And yeah, it's like I have to sell a lot of stuff to make a decent amount of money. And so I always wanted to do my own. Plus, I wanted to make my own. I didn't want to just sell merch. I wanted to be the one behind making it. So when I bought this ring, and I was pretty happy about, paying off the credit cards, and credit card, and I, we could have not spent some money, but it was out of pocket. It wasn't on the credit card. So I felt like I could do it. And so I spent $300 setting up my new business. It's not legal yet. I haven't set it up that much. It's very, very early in the works. So I have a name in mind. I will not tell you that name until I've legalized it. I'm very much that person. I like to make sure that I get that name everywhere, so you won't know that name until I have a Twitter of it, Instagram, the business license and all that. So the business obviously is a jewelry business. I want to also make some clothing, and I'm kind of calling it a crafting business. And it's something I just always wanted to do. And I've always been interested in it. And actually, story time. But when I was 16, and like every girl, and maybe some of you guys, but girls generally, their first jobs are like when they're 11 or 12 and they babysit. Like that's typically our first job. And I had finally gotten like my first real job. I never considered babysitting a real job, because it's babysitting. Like, yes, it's hard. It's hard to take care of a kid. But a job to me back then was like customer service, dealing with people and stuff like that. And so my first real job was when I was 16. And unless you call landscaping, like I did cut people's lawn, and I guess that's customer service, but let's just pretend they didn't exist, right? Like, let's just pretend I didn't babysit and I didn't cut lawn for people, we're talking like a building that we go into, right? That kind of job, a building that we go into, a boss we have, and and making like an on-paper paycheck, okay? Rather than, babysitting and lawn care, they just hand me cash, But my first job where taxes was a thing, I guess. And so that first job was actually Fabricland. I don't know if there's one in the States. Maybe nowadays there is. But back then, this was the 90s, so chances are it probably was Canadian only back then. But yeah, that was my first job. And for those that don't know, but I'm pretty sure you can guess off the title, fabric. But it was a place that people go to buy like patterns and, fabric to make their items and stuff. And one of the requirements for having that job was that once a month you had to actually make something and display it in the store. And back then I remember dreading the day I had to do that, because I was also in school and I wanted to hang with my friends, and I didn't want to sit at home fucking sewing something up for work. But eventually I grew to like it, and I really actually love making things like that. And back then it was so much tougher. Nowadays it's so easy. There's these sewing machines that like embroider is like in there. It's like digitalized. It's like a computer chip, right? Whereas back then you had to actually learn how to do that shit. Now the machine just does it for you. Like you still need to know the basics and stuff, but yeah. So I guess there's like a pro and con to that, because if you really do like sewing, then you probably do not like these new machines because they do all the work. So you're kind of bored doing nothing while the machine does most of the work. So I imagine a true sewer probably hunts down one of those old school sewing machines. But yeah, so that's what the business is going to be. It's going to be, I'm going to be making some rings, necklaces, bracelets, making some clothes, and yeah. The clothes was a nice little addition, because I was starting to think, like, with just starting with the jewelry idea, I'm like, I had showed my friend Mark some of the necklaces I had made, and I'll show you guys in a minute here too. Actually, I'll just take a picture of it because I'd have to dig out the box. It's under my bed in a box, because my plan is to like take it to a crafting fair. But when I was showing him, he's like, "Well, nothing I can wear," and then that kind of like ding ding, right? I was like, shit, you're right. I am choosing a female type atmosphere here. So that's where clothes could come in. I also told them that maybe I'll just make you a skull ring, like there is guy jewelry. So if you are a guy, give me some ideas of like some jewelry you guys like. As a gamer, of course, that was my first thought, right? I want to make like a bunch of gaming type stuff. And yeah. And then I have some other ideas, but I'm not ready to share them yet. Because I don't want everyone to know my plan yet. It's a competitive world, and I'm keeping the more unique ideas to myself right now. But I will eventually let you know. This is just early stages, and I don't plan on legalizing anything probably till like January. I'm going to spend, from July to December just making things and getting like a stock ready to be able to sell. And then, of course, I will let you guys know, maybe give you guys first dibs, and give you a little discounted price and all that, and have a little opening week sale or something. So that's something to look forward to if you're interested in any of that. And I just really want to do that. And for the Myst of Darkness, I just really always thought it would be a great addition to the website. And we have a lot of things that Stream knows us for, right? Like, wow, my cats, movies, my style of music that I'm into, like you guys know a decent amount. I keep a lot of the very private stuff private, like, family and stuff. I don't talk about family too terribly often. And there's a reason for that. I try to keep, people private. and yeah, so yeah, that is that. Now you might be saying, well, you have a business. So that is our next topic. So while this was always a thought, I was actually thinking about the cleaning business the other day. My renewal is in 2 weeks. And because I've been so busy with my new job, and the cleaning business does require a lot of advertising, a lot of physical work, a lot of driving there to clean that house and then drive there and blah, blah, blah. It can be a lot. And I've done it for 15 years. So I had made the decision that, while I always had some dreams, of different ways I wanted the cleaning business to go, the reality is one day, it'll be in 20 years, but one day when I retire and I cannot work anymore, I I don't want to worry about other people. And the jewelry, clothing, like who knows, maybe it gets so big that I hire people for it. But with the cleaning business, I've had employees for the cleaning business, and it's a lot. It's a lot to worry about, keeping them employed and all that, and keeping money afloat. And then there's the physical as well. And the business has a lot of elements. It's not just a cleaning business. It's lawn care. It's a lot of maintenance on machines, and yeah. So I just, you know, and and if shit goes to hell, who do you think's stuck with the physical job? And don't get me wrong, like I literally wanted a physical job, but you know the physical job that I have that I'm not the manager of, like I'm the employee or new job. That's something I can walk away from if I wanted to, but when it's your own business, yeah. So I was thinking about that, and I'm like, I've done it for a long time. And I really, not gonna lie, I was done with it in COVID, like I took it down. I could have just halted it, right? I could have just halted it and brought it back when everything was kosher. But no, I took it down, and there was a reason for that. It was because I was done back then with it. But then AI and all this crap was getting a little more intense, and it was getting struggle mode to find a new job. And yeah, so I'll fully admit the only reason that business came back this past year is because I needed money. Yeah. But I had made the decision to stop doing that business a long time ago. Yeah. And yeah. And it did its purpose. I brought it back, and I got customers from it, and I was making money to get me to where I'm at now, and we're doing good. And yeah. But I'm just, the cleaning business, a lot of people don't think about this aspect, but it can be dangerous because for example, I'm a solo cleaner. So I'm a girl, solo cleaner. You don't know whose house you're walking into. And there have been horror stories of people being murdered because they're a cleaner and they walk in, and there are things I did my best to not think about them. And it's worse now than it was before, like when I first started the cleaning business, like 15 years ago or whatever. Like that wasn't really a worry, I'm sure it happened, but yeah. But nowadays, like, let's be real, the world is not getting better, it's getting worse. So things were better when I started it back then. Yeah. So now it's there are precautions you can take, but it's like when you already want to kind of close that chapter of your life, that adds to another reason we should actually do that. Yeah. So yeah, that is that. I had thoughts of, me just stepping back, and someone else takes care of the business and I just profit off of it. And and it's like, if that is always a way you can go if you have a cleaning business, and it's doing really good, and like, yeah, you can always go that way. And honestly, in 20 years, if it would be easy for it to be doing good like that, especially with advertisement and stuff. But the thing is, cleaning businesses are huge competition nowadays too. So yeah, back in the day, like I made more money, like probably 10 years ago with the cleaning business than I do now. And the reason is because, well, one, I charged the same 10 years ago. So I was making crazy money because people charge now, they charge what I was charging 10 years ago. But that's when it's a business, you can charge more because it's supplies and, yeah, there's a lot more going into it. And, you got to make sure you're not coming out of it broke after you've like spent your supplies and stuff on it. But I can't remember where I was going with that one. My apologies, guys. But point is, I could have kept it. But it's very demanding. I have a lot of services in it. It's very physical because of snow removal in the winters, lawn care in the summers, and then, believe it or not, and maybe you got to clean your house to believe this, but cleaning house is a physical job. Like I wear my fitness tracker, and they track it as exercise when I'm doing a house clean. Yeah, my fitness tracker does see different levels of heart rate, so it is classified as, fairly physical. It's a lot worse if you're like doing lawn care or snow removal, but house cleans are more like a light exercise, but it's still an exercise. Yeah. So yeah. So that's the plan there. So moral of that story is I'm not renewing the business license. So that business is done in 2 weeks. And yeah. And, honestly, like I said, I never wanted to bring it back anyway, but, it was stay broke because I'm not getting interviews, or put a little money into the business again, get the license and all that, and start making money off the business until I get work. And now I've had a new job for a few months. So now I feel like we could toss the business. But I'm also very business orientated. For those, I'm sure most of you can kind of tell, because just let's not even really talk about jobs. Content creation. Those have watched my gaming channel. How consistent have I been? Super consistent. We were doing daily videos for 8 years solid straight, not a missed day at all, as well as streams. And then the past couple of years, because I've been changing my lifestyle a bit with like exercise, new job, blah, 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 and then business, yeah, it's changed. The stream schedule's a little kind of all over the place nowadays, but it's still consistent. I'm still there, I'm just not there daily. And yeah, I've always taken the content creation very seriously. Before people even thought about taking it, as a job, I was treating it like a job, because that's the kind of person I am. If I'm passionate about something, then I put like my all into it. And so that's why you guys get, all these videos. I do my best to be every Sunday on this channel. Cooking channel slacks a bit, I will admit. If you watch the cooking channel, my apologies. I know there hasn't been a video in like a month. I was gonna post one yesterday, but I lost the footage. I know it's like, teacher, I can't do my test because my dog ate my homework. I know it sounds like that, but I swear I lost the footage, okay? But there'll be a video soon. I want to do Canada Day video, so you can expect one in a couple of days over there. But for the most part, I was doing every Saturday, and that's what I try to for the cooking channel. The cooking channel is like a little rougher because it actually not only does it require money to conduct, because I'm making recipes, so I have to buy all the ingredients to do the video, but then it's also a lot of recording and editing, and yeah. So it is actually probably, I would say it's my toughest channel. Yeah. Sometimes I find this channel to be tough, but it depends if we leave. If it's just inside, like right now, it's not so bad. I can pretty much just do one cut and it's one video I'm editing. But if it's outside or it's like a, life in the day of or something, then there's many different portions, and yeah. So but yeah, and then the gaming channel was always daily until I couldn't. Daily is very tough to do for a long time, and I did it for a long time. Yeah, a lot of people thought I was insane with the schedule I had for the gaming channel. So yeah. And especially since I did streams like 8 hours every night. Yeah. So I put a lot of dedication into that. With my business, it was the same. The thing to know is that the hours spent on a business are not just your working hours. There's a lot of behind the scenes. You got to advertise. I was making flyers to do like door to door, which not everyone likes, but you got to promote somehow. So, you just be courteous of the ones that, like, if someone, you walk up to a door and it says no flyers, then I skip the house. I don't put a flyer in their mailbox, and you just kind of move on. Yeah. Yeah. And then just hope for the best on the ones you did get a flyer in. Flyers, I still think flyers to this day are the best advertisement. Not a route I'm going to go with our new business, because I just don't think it would work well. It worked well with the cleaning business because that is, I'm showing up to their house, the house that they would call me to do work on, whether it's clean or lawn care or snow removal, so it made more sense. Right. Whereas a jewelry clothing business, like, yeah, I don't see flyers working at all for that. I'll just promote online. Yeah. But yeah. So in other words, like I think I had even made the comment to my friend Mark. I'm like, I'm incapable of not having a business. I've just had one for so long, and I'm such a creative person. Now, when I say that, that doesn't mean that, like, I can't draw worth shit. Like, if you want a drawing, you're getting a stick man. Maybe I can throw a Santa hat on them, but like, that's about as far as we're getting. But I am creative in other ways. And because of that, I've just always wanted a business. And I think I've just ran a business for so long now that I struggle to be an employee. Like, I do my best at this new job, but not gonna lie, if I didn't need the money, I wouldn't be there. Right. And I know people say that all the time. Well, of course, who would want to work? But sometimes I love working. It depends what I'm doing. Do I want to deal with customers? Fuck no. But crafting stuff, I'll do that every day. I love to make things. I love to do videos. I love to stream. Videos and streaming is still kind of like, it still gets that weird vibe as far as career. No one really thinks it's worth it until they see you making money. But point is, I've like I keep myself busy at all times. You guys know this. I'm always adding extra things to my plate. Like, some months it's been absolutely insane. People think I'm stressing myself out. I'm not though, like I add all these things to the plate and it makes me happy. You know, I, for those that don't know, I started doing content because I was trying to get myself out of a depression, you know? And so part of being in a really bad depression is you stay busy. And that's what I did. Like I was always adding things to my plate to get my mind off, like I know this won't come off as a positive thing, but I dig things down. Like I bury them. Yeah, I dig things down. That was so wrong. But I bury things, you know, and I have buried some stuff for so many years that I'm not even sure what it is. Like, yeah, I'm not even sure what that buried item is. Like, it's been so buried, and I've kept my mind occupied. I've been so busy all the time for years that I have no idea what, there's some of the more painful things that I still remember, but then there's some like painful things that I remember half of, like I've buried them so much. And that was my way of coping. Some people, they like to go with psychiatrists and stuff like that. And me, I just bury the shit, move on with my life, and be as happy as I can. Right. And so that is what I've done, and it has worked. And yeah, I don't care what anyone says. It was a success for me. My other video is done exporting. I was going to show you, but then I forgot. But I currently just did, I know I kind of slacked for like a week finishing off the 007 edits. So I just did one, and it was pretty long. It was the longest chapter of the game. So it took a bit to export. And so because of that, I was like, oh, I gotta do the vlog video. This is a great time, to get it done. And my apologies, I didn't turn on lights or anything. But I'm sure you guys probably saw me okay. So I think that's all I gotta say. As far as our new business venture, once again, it's still in early thoughts. I have started crafting things though. So yay. And yeah, right now it's just jewelry. I got to buy myself a new sewing machine before we start doing like the clothes and stuff. And then I also have been getting myself into some resin crafting, which would be like kind of like this ring, Okay, here's another thing that you just take it however you want, okay? But as far as what I'm hoping for, I'm kind of going in expecting it to fail. It is not that I'm a downer. It is that I like being happy, and if I put the least amount of expectations on myself, then any small amount of success is going to make me happy. Yeah. So a lot of the time, like pretty much my whole life, I've been like that. I just go in expecting things to fail. And luckily for me, have some things failed? Sure. But luckily for me, most don't fail to the degree that I expected it to, like take the channel. Take not this one, but the Myst of Darkness channel, because it's the bigger one. But it's still really not huge. It's almost at 5,000, which isn't much considering how many videos are on there and how long I've been doing it. But when I started that channel, I didn't even think we'd get monetization. I was like, no one's going to watch this shit, but I'll post it. Maybe my kids will want to watch it when I'm dead, you know? Like, I made it more a memorial, like something that people could go to see me. And, you know, because none of us are living forever over here. And yeah, that's pretty much how I went into that channel. It's how I go into this channel as well. This will be more a memorial channel than anything because I'm on camera every single video, full screened, right? But plus, the thing with vlogs is we're storytellers. And one day, I don't know, like, I don't plan on it, but say I off myself for some sort of reason, you're going to be able to like piece it together, you know? It would never happen. I'm not that kind of person, guys. But, you know, like literally I was in the worst depression where most people might have went that route. And I didn't, you know, I work through things. I'm strong. But point is, you know, those are the kind of channels where you can kind of like, you get the story, you know, and you guys are gonna get happy stories from me. You know, there might be like some months where I'm pissed about something, and I'll let you guys know what that is. But you know, for the most part, you know, it'll be all happy moments. I'll tell you guys what the weather is. I'll grab my phone. Where is it? Well, my other phone. You guys are on a phone. So, like, yay for the fact that I did bring that business, right? Because the fact that I brought the cleaning business back is the reason that I can show you things on a phone while I'm recording on a phone. It's also the reason why if I wasn't the way I am, because I like recording off my Android phone. My Android phone is so old. Not like super, it's not like 20 years old, but it is a Galaxy 9, I think. And we're in like what, almost 30 for Galaxy? Like, yeah, I got it in 2019. It was new in 2019. Yeah, got it right before I went to BlizzCon. And my other phone before that was like 10 years old. It was starting to be slower because it wasn't getting updates anymore. And so that's why I got it. But point of this story is that, you know, this phone, I'm paying a lot for this phone right now. I'm on contract. It's new. I got it a year ago when I brought the business back. It's on a 2-year contract. I still have to pay a year before it's paid off. And then we'll be happy again. I like having paid off phones. I had my Android that you guys are sitting on right now. Well, not literally, but you know, we're recording on it. That has been paid off I paid it off in 21 and we're in 26. So 5 years it's been a paid off phone. Yeah. So I pay next to nothing for this phone to be active. Yeah. Yeah. I just pay the bill. So it'll be nice to get this phone at that state. But I keep forgetting to tell you the big point here. The big point is since this sucker, the Android, is 6 years old, actually 7 years old, and this one's like last year. It was new. It was the new phone a year ago. We have really good video quality on this. I just don't use it because I find iPhones are a little, because this is Apple, because I figured I've been doing Android like pretty much all my cellular life. Point is that this phone here can do better videos than the one I'm recording on. But the reason that I don't use it is, well, there's 2 reasons. One, I have to be so careful putting it on the tripod. Couple of times when I had just gotten it, I wanted to do some videos, and we did. There are some videos on this channel that were recorded with that phone, and I almost called fucking emergency because I didn't realize how iPhones really worked. And there's like a button on the iPhone, you press it and it like starts calling fucking emergency. So now I'm worried to have it in a tripod because like that day it kept doing that and it was freaking me out so bad. Yeah. I remember at the end of one recording, I was like, oh my God, I hope they're not on the way to the house. Like, I didn't know if like the call had gone through or not. And it was just very alarming. I don't like that function. I went and disabled it in the phone, but then after it happened, but then I haven't fiddled with it. I do my best not to hit that button, right? So I don't know if it's actually disabled. I don't think you can disable it. Like it's an emergency feature, right? It's there for a reason. But yeah, it's like if you drop your phone, it like calls it or something. I think it's for when you're like in a car and get in an accident and you know your phone gets then it immediately calls and uses GPS to know where you're at, and then maybe your life is saved because of your iPhone. Like I'm sure there's a good reason for it. But yeah, because of that, that's the first reason. And then the second reason is, well, with my Android phone, I can just plug it into my computer and pop the file in a folder and it's like the right format. But with the iPhone, I legit paid for that thing that Apple has. You know how Google has like the Google Drive or whatever? Apple has their thing. I had to do it that way to get it in the format so I could edit it properly. And yeah, so it's just, I'm not saying we'll never use the video on it. I'm sure one day we will. But it is less convenient, is what I'm saying. So as far as convenience, we will probably stick to the Android. But yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go for real. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it was a bit of a ramble, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. I wonder if maybe I should do next week's video early for you guys because it will be your July 4th. So the thing to know if you're not familiar with Canada is that we both celebrate stuff in the same week. You guys have July 4th. And we have July 1st. July 1st is Canada Day. So yeah, it's a week of celebrating the country you love. So yeah, you won't see I don't know, maybe I'll just talk about what I did for Canada Day. And yeah, maybe I wonder, should I do a cooking video for July 4th? I've got one planned already for Canada Day, but I wasn't thinking about July 4th. So maybe it's like yeah, I will. But the hesitation is that I know it's gonna be sweets, right? And I'm like, shit. So I'm gonna have, and like I'm watching my weight. I'm trying to lose some pounds here, right? So I'm like, shit. So now I'm gonna do videos, 2 in the same week that probably are gonna be a dessert, you know, like full of sugar. Yeah, but we'll see. And I will, of course, let you guys know in the next vlog. And by then, it will be on the cooking channel. I can just link it to you guys, or feel free to follow it. It's called Cooking with Myst. And yeah, and that's it. I'm gonna go get this video edited. It's a busy editing day because Well, I did that 007 video because it was already in the editing file that I use for my WoW videos, and I recorded a couple of WoW videos. Wow. No pun intended there, but it's been like a couple of months since I've done a WoW video, so people are going to probably be a little surprised when that shit posts. But my plan is to get a couple of them up today, because there's a patch coming out on Tuesday, so I want to kind of like have some of these videos. They're midsummer videos. I want them uploaded before the patch so I can work on those videos. And I needed 007 edited to like clear that file without completely deleting everything I edited for the current 007 video. So yeah, that's why that was exporting. Yeah, ramble like you guys care about my editing, right? But yeah. So anyway, I am out of here. I actually ordered a new calendar. You guys might recognize. We'll do a zoom in the editing, but there's our Simpsons calendar on the wall there. We've had it. Well, it's a 2025 calendar, so that should tell you everything you need to know. It's been on December for 6 months. So yeah, I was thinking about, I'm like, am I just wasting my money buying a calendar halfway through the year? I'll do so much better for 2027, guys, okay? I swear, we will have a calendar by December going into the next year. But this one was really cute. And I'm not sure if it's here yet. It said anywhere from like 4 to 7 p.m. and it is 5, so it might not be here yet, but I will take a picture or a video so I can show you all the different pictures on the calendar. And yeah, I loved it immediately. Okay, I'm back. I am not using our new mic, as you can probably tell in the audio. You know, both audio sounds great, but the default is a little lower than when I use the mic. But I got the calendar in, and it was just as I was setting up to edit the video, so I figured I'd throw the record back on and just show you, because it's easier to show you on a record than pictures. So a bit of a bummer that I didn't buy it earlier, because there's a few pictures we're not going to really see all month. So let's look at it. I do love that my favorite guy is on here, so that's cool. So, horror but with cats. We're gonna miss out on Freddy. He was January. Oh, hold on. So yeah, he was January. But you know what? I'm not getting rid of this calendar. This is a calendar we're gonna keep. There are some calendars that I do keep. Some I'll just toss because I don't want to be hoarding a bunch of calendars, you know, after the years are done. But if there's some that are like still in decent shape and they have pictures, that if majority of the pictures I liked, I'll keep them. If there was only like a couple of nice pictures, then I'll just take the pictures out and toss the calendar. But I get the feeling that's not going to be the case with this one. So Freddy was January. Aw, so cute. See, this is what AI is good for, guys, okay? All the AI haters. Yeah, this is where it comes in handy. Okay. February. Okay. Pennywise there. Nice. Aw. It's like, how can you hate these serial killers when they are, when they're so nice to the cats? March? Oh my god, that's aliens. I wasn't even thinking of that one to be in here. I never really think of aliens as, I guess it is a horror calendar, right? Whereas I think serial killer. Yeah. But awesome, awesome. What am I missing here? Who is this one? Fuck. Okay, not sure. You guys are gonna have to remind me. I'm not sure. But we have to start thinking horror. I'm thinking serial killer, right? So like I need to start thinking horror. Oh, I need to rewatch all those Scream movies. Okay, so that's cute. That's a May. Oh, Chucky was this year. Or this year, this month. Okay, and that I was never like the biggest Chucky fan, but I think the picture is adorable. It is very cute. Okay, so those are the pictures we missed out on. Which means, you know, Mike Myers should be somewhere in months we'll catch. So what's July? Okay, July is Jason. Nice. What a cute picture. Okay, and then August. That's the ring chick, right? Am I getting that one right? I think it's the ring. I could be wrong though. And these are all like the ones that I truly don't know. They are legit guesses. I don't think the calendar tells you. Like, let's see. Yeah, it just has the pictures at the back, which I guess we could just looked at those, but we get the full thing. Okay, Texas Chainsaw. Nice, nice. So that's September. I know that one, but it's just not coming to me. But I do remember that one. I personally think that Mike Myers should have been October, though, because, like, literally he does kill on Halloween. So, just saying. Okay, Chucky's Bride. Yeah. Okay, he's December. Okay, I can handle a Christmas Michael Myers. I can handle it. Okay. And you know what the nice part is? Well, I'm going to try my best to not be super late on the next calendar. But the reality is if any month is on my wall for an extended period of time, it's going to be December, you know? And the reason is gonna be because I didn't buy a calendar. Yeah. So, but I won't make that the reason, guys, okay? So yeah, as you guys know, well, maybe you don't, but I'll tell you right now. I like to pick a different theme every year. So like I don't always want like a World of Warcraft calendar, you know? Like one year it's World of Warcraft, another year it's The Simpsons. Like 2024 was a World of Warcraft calendar. 2025 was Simpsons. 2026 is Halloween and Cats. And, oh, I'll move it there. And then who knows? Who knows what the next one will be? But I will try to make it not be WoW, Simpsons, or horror. Although I do love the horror calendars. But yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, I'm just happy enough they put my favorite guy in. Like, what is a horror calendar without Michael Myers? Like, let's be real. Yeah. Okay. So, we're gonna flip it. It's almost July, so I'm just gonna flip it straight to July. That way we are just ready. And, you know, it's funny because July makes sense because, you know, July 13th is, you know, Friday the 13th. Well, it isn't in here, but you know what I mean. Actually, I don't even know if it works that way, but in my head it always did. I always like thought of July. You know why? My not Mark, my best friend, but Tony, my female best friend, she got married on July 13th. Um, like I think it's almost 10 years ago now. And the reason was because she really liked she loves horror, right? So, Friday the 13th was, a day she wanted. Yeah. So because of that, I think I started associating Friday the 13th with July. Yeah. But I think it's just always been a random Friday the 13th. Yeah. Anyway, let's put this up. So there's our current calendar, still stuck on December. I always keep my BattleNet authenticator. So old school, like, only us oldies have these authenticators, unless you found one on eBay or something. But this one came straight from the Blizzard office. They sent me a ton when these were kind of making their way out the door and we were going to like phone authenticators. I had one that was powering off all the time on me. They sent me a box of like 20 of them. So if all shit, falls apart, I can just authenticate the old school way, right? But I always have it hanging there, just for the hell of it. And this key I don't use. This is actually my house key. But for years now, we've had a code lock on the door. So it's like I could use that key, but I never do. I just use the code lock. But anyway, let's move this. Okay, there's our new calendar. I guess my keys do kind of get in the way now. Maybe since it's so much on the pictures, we'll remove the authenticator for now. But yeah, there we go. And you can tell it's an American calendar because we see the American holiday, but not Canada Day. That's okay, I'll just add it manually. But yeah, okay, I'm happy with it. Okay, and that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.